A public defender is an attorney employed by the community and responsible for giving legal aid without cost to any person who seeks it and is financially unable to employ private counsel. It is his duty to defend those accused of crime until the issue is decided in a court of law. The first public defender's office in the United States was opened in January 1913. Over the years, other offices were opened. And today, that handful has grown to a network of lawyers cooperating to protect the rights of our clients. Our faith in human nature is often put to the acid test. My job and I were put to such a test in the case of the People versus William Evans. Bill and Madge Evans were the kind of young couple you and I would like to have for neighbors. Happily married, friendly, and helpful, they were well thought of in the community. Bill had a steady job with a good future, assistant to the manager of a flourishing construction firm. You'd never think of Bill as the kind of man capable of committing a felony.
How you doing, hon?
Terrible. Whenever the first of the month comes around with all those bills, I want to run somewhere and hide.
If you don't learn to stick to a budget, you may have to. Say, honey, there's a good show around the corner. How about it?
It's that Western you're talking about. You can count me out.
Oh, come on, baby. Be a good sport. Buy you some popcorn.
No sale. When we got married, you promised I wouldn't have to watch Westerns or wrestling matches.
And you promised to love, honor, and obey.
Love and honor I do, but obey was stricken from the marriage ceremony. Why don't you go alone?
You trust me out alone at night?
When I stop trusting you, I'll stop being your wife. I'll tell you what, you find a good love story and I'll go with you.
I know a pretty good love story right here. You know something? After 5 years of this, I consider myself a pretty fortunate guy. You cook well, you're fairly bright, and you're even pretty.
But I can't count. Oh, Bill, I give up. I can't make these figures balance.
You never could. Honey, you wanted to take care of the money. Well, you've been doing it for 3 months now. Don't you think it's time I took over again?
Well, if you think so.
I know so. Do you realize we overdrawn the other day?
But I can't.
We have a joint checking account, remember?
You mean I wrote too many checks?
That's what the bank tells me.
Bill, I'm sorry, but it won't happen again. Promise.
We'll skip it now. You expecting somebody?
No.
I'll get it.
Mr. Evans?
Yeah, I'm Bill Evans.
Sergeant Riker, Police Department.
What can I do for you?
You'll have to come downtown with me to headquarters.
Tonight?
I'm afraid so, ma'am.
Well, what for?
You'll find out when you get there.
But
ready? Let's go.
I'll go with you.
No, look. I haven't shot anybody for a week now. I won't be long. Sergeant? So long, Ed.
Recognize this check, Mr. Evans?
Sure, that's for a suit I bought downtown.
Then that's your signature.
Of course. What's this check doing here?
The store turned it over to us.
What for?
Passing bad checks, Mr. Evans, is a felony.
Oh, look, this is ridiculous. That check was good when I wrote it.
That's not what the bank said.
All right, so I was overdrawn. Well, I bought the suit, the check was covered, but that was a month ago. For some reason, they didn't put it through, and when they did the other day, I was short. I'll straighten it out right now.
I'm afraid that's not the point.
Well, look here, Sergeant. These things do happen, you know. My wife and I, we have a joint account. She's poor at figures. Forgets to keep track.
This check look familiar to you?
Never saw it before in my life.
How about this one?
No.
Recognize any of them?
No, why should I? They're all signed by people I never heard of.
The signatures are very similar to yours.
What do you mean?
We have reason to believe that these checks were written by the same person, and that you're that person.
What is this, some kind of a joke?
Please don't joke, Evans. I'll have to hold you for further questioning.
On what grounds?
Forgery and passing bad checks.
Wait a minute, this is some kind of a crazy mistake. I don't have anything to do with this. I've got a good job. I've got no reason to do anything like this.
You'll have your chance to explain. Come along.
Wait, look. Can't I call my wife? She'll be worried.
right, go ahead.
He assured her that there was nothing to worry about, that he'd be home in no time. Then Bill Evans was taken to the main jail where he was booked, fingerprinted, and lodged in his cell. Madge did worry. The next morning, she called my office and asked me to see Bill. I agreed to help him all I could.
I appreciate your interest, Mr. Matthews, but I think you're making too much of all this. I really don't need a lawyer.
Forgery's a serious charge.
I haven't been charged with it yet. The whole thing is such an obvious mistake, they're bound to find out. I'm not worried. I'm innocent.
The evidence looks pretty conclusive.
Conclusive of what? Look, Mr. Matthews, I'm just getting a good start in life. I've got a wonderful wife, fine job. I've been with the same company for 3 years. I'm in line for a good promotion. I'm secretary of the Builders Club. Now, does this look like the picture of a criminal, a forger?
No, not so far.
Well, that's all there is to Bill Evans, just an average guy leading an average life. The only crime I ever committed was not to save any money. Well, how can you these days with the high cost of living?
That's a good question.
Weren't you ever short in your life?
Could be.
Well, you didn't go to jail for it, did you?
No, but I kept a keen eye on my bank balance.
I explained all that. That was an oversight.
Well, I hope someone can explain those checks for your sake. I'll be seeing you, Evans.
I doubt it, but, well, thanks for dropping by anyway. Oh, Mr. Matthews.
Yes?
What's the next step? I mean, what's the procedure in a case like this?
Well, you'll be confronted with the defrauded parties to see if they can identify you.
Who can identify me if they've never seen me?
You'll all speak quietly. Any of these men look familiar to you?
Not to me.
How about that one, the one over there? Man on the left, step forward. Walk across the stage. Hold it. Turn to the right. To the left.
That ain't him. He had a different kind of nose.
Step back in line.
That could be the one. He's got that honest look. The kind that fooled you.
Second from the right. Second from the right, come forward. Get a move on. Your name?
William Evans.
Where were you born?
Dayton, Ohio.
Speak in your natural voice. What do you work for?
J.H. Nichols. I'm assistant to the manager.
Sounds like him.
Yeah. Know something? When he passed that bum check, he had the nerve even to argue about the price. I think that's your man.
What makes you so sure?
Well, he looks like him, he walks like him, and he acts just as cocky.
Any of the rest of you recognize him? What about you?
Well, I don't know. Guy who came to me wore a hat.
Get him a hat. Put it on.
Could be. I think that's him.
That's him, all right. The hat does it. I'm sure of it.
I told you he's the guy. Knew it all the time.
That's not true.
Okay, mark him. He's been made.
That's a lie. I tell you, I haven't done anything. I'm innocent. What do you want from me? I'm innocent.
Well, that's that.
Thanks, folks. You'll be hearing from us.
How many years will he get?
First, he has to be tried, ma'am. And if he's found guilty, he can get up to 14 years.
Good. Any man that steals from a poor, defenseless woman deserves all of that.
Hey,